Hello, so I wanted to do a quick video on my new toy that I've been playing with. It's a Philips NMS6302 Viewdata Terminal. This one in particular has been branded Hobbs. Down in this bottom right corner, Hobbs was the home office banking system. That's home stroke office, not the home office. So for those of you that don't know, I'm planning to run an analog telephone network at Electromagnetic Field Festival in June. So EMF is a UK camping festival for hackers, artists, geeks, crafters, scientists and engineers. I'll put the link below in the description, it's well worth going. So anyway, phones are cool, but I think it's pretty unlikely that people are going to be sitting in their tent playing with phones all day. So I was looking for something a bit more interesting and a bit more interactive to run over the top of the phone network. So I started experimenting with dial-up and bulletin boards, and then around the same time someone tweeted about TELSTAR, which is a piece of software by someone called John Newcomb, which emulates a thing called Prestel. So I'd not heard of Prestel before, so I did a bit of research and discovered it was a video text service that started in the late 70s that basically delivered pages of information over a phone line. It looks very similar in appearance to teletext, with the added benefit that it's actually two-way. So it's over a 1275 baud connection, asynchronous. It wasn't incredibly popular in the UK, but you might have heard of Minitel in France, which was incredibly popular and ended up running until 2012, which is kind of a testament to how popular it was over there. So I started playing with Telstar using a modern client. So John, as well as making the Telstar server software, has also made a cross-platform client, and kind of fell in love with it. It's kind of so simple but effective. So I started looking at some more sort of period appropriate hardware. So I started looking at obtaining a BBC Micro when this Philips NMS6302 came up on eBay. So obviously I bought it, I went to pick it up, and then started looking for the manual. So I didn't really have much luck when I was trying to find the manual, but ended up going on to a lot of French Minitel websites. And then I realised that the Philips NMS6302 would have been called the Minitel 2 in France. So with that bit of information, I was able to find the French manual for the Minitel 2 and start to translate it. So that's the backstory. Let's see it in action. So this is the terminal itself. It's got an 8-inch black and white CRT display and then this pull-out keyboard. So generally you would have pressed this and the keyboard would have popped out. Unfortunately the mechanism on mine's broken, so it is just a manual pull. So this has got a directory capable of storing 10 numbers and then can dial into them using the built-in modem over the connected phone line. There's also a 5-pin DIN connector on the back, which breaks out serial communication from and to the unit. So to dial into a service, you select one of the options on the screen. In my case, I'm going to select 0, which has been programmed to Telstar. Then I'm going to hit send, and you're going to hear it connect. So this is it connected to the service. Just need to press enter to refresh the page. There we go. So this is the main home page loading for the Telstar system. There's several options that John's kindly added, and some of them are actually dynamic, so you can do things like check the weather, the news, share prices and a few other bits and pieces. So we'll have a quick look round. So we'll start off with the weather. I think the weather's my favourite because it actually asks you to put some input in, which is a bit different. So we're just waiting for this page to load again. As you can see, it's not super fast. This is the speed that it would have run at sort of at the end of the 70s and into the 80s. So we'll select 9 for the weather. And this is all colour. If you've got a colour display, this will all load in colour. As you can see, the style is kind of very similar to CFAX. It's got that kind of blocky, low resolution to it. So now it's going to ask me to enter my town or city, so I'm going to type in London. As you can see, there's a bit of lag when I type. That's the 75 baud upload speed in action. So now it's going to pull the weather for London. As you can see, it's forecasted to be moderate rain, and I can confirm there is moderate rain outside. So that's the weather page. This Viewdata Terminal actually has a guide button and an index button. So if I press index, it's going to take me back to the home page, which is pretty useful. There are sort of feature codes that you can jump back and forward with. If you know the page number, like teletext, you can enter it directly and it will take you straight there. So we'll look at news now. Press 1 for the BBC, and then it's just going to load the different categories. We'll go with technology. So there's the latest technology headlines. So we'll go back to the index again. We'll press 3 for business and financial news. And then 1 for the FTSE 100. And then you'll see it's loading the current share prices there and if they've increased or decreased. And then you can hop through the pages. Again, if you knew the page that your particular company that you wanted to check the shares were on, you could skip directly to that page rather than hopping through the menus. You can just skip straight to the page. Just trying to go back to the home page now. There we go. So as well as the sort of TELSTAR press cell stuff, there's also some gateway services. So like I mentioned, CFAX is kind of very similar in operation to this Viewdata platform. The two are almost cross-compatible. So there's a couple of gateways here to other CFAX services for you to look at. And then there's also the Colossal Cave adventure game that some of you might be familiar with. So we'll jump through to TFAX, just have a quick look. Press any key. So we'll go to the main menu. And then TV listings on page 620. Select the channel 621. And then it's going to show the TV that's on today. And it will cycle through the pages and show you what's on. So this is loading the next page now. So that is pretty much it. There's a few more features to poke around on Telstar. I highly recommend you download the client. It will run on pretty much any operating system and have a look around. I have to say I'm quite in love with this. It's kind of small. It's smaller than I expected, which is actually a good thing because I didn't want like a huge 15-inch CRT around the place. It's kind of a nice compact square. And it's just so simple, there's no operating system, there's no updates. It pulls everything in via the modem. I can understand why it was so popular in France, because it just works. It's kind of basic now compared to the internet, but for its time, I can see it being very useful. So you'll probably see this again. Like I mentioned, there's a peripheral port on the back, a serial port. I am going to make a little ESP8266 modem on there, and then you can use it as a dumb terminal to access other stuff like bulletin boards, and you could use it as a terminal for a computer and that kind of thing. So once I've got around to that, I will probably make another video. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. It's been a bit rough and ready, but yeah, we're getting there. So cheers all.